Let's bring up some of my. I'm starting to feel youth and refreshed now. Now we got a good base element template. I think this video is just going to be the next levels of the elements. I mean, I think that tonight's videos is just going to be the elements, and then tomorrow we're going to do the dimensions, including the 0 out dimensions. Yay! That means I'm one day late on Ravenclaw. Anyway, so somebody was trying to say to me, let's backtrack. Some of the rhetoric that you guys have in the astral planes is bizarro. Some woman was trying to tell me that I was like Elle and she was Maleficent, and that I was too good to be Maleficent. And like, Netzach is closed, number one. So that woman didn't do a proper Hufflepuff cook. She just got confessed. She doesn't understand what even Maleficent is. So Maleficent starts at Vina. So it's the master of the Black Ray. And that's an Auror. The darker archetype sits at Netzach when she's alone, without a community, but she's the most advanced person on the planet or in the community. So she's obviously the alpha. But as you ascend the tree of life, she's the witch of Bina. I'm really excited to start Bina coming up soon, and I'm drawing out my schedule. And this is really important when you use the element Black Tower Heroine, and I think that's probably where it ties into all of this. When you ascend the tree and you have 1,000,000 children you're taking care of because you love them, that's the alpha mother energy. That's the higher Bina. That's the real Maleficent energy. I take care of the trees, I take care of the fairies, and I take care of the children. And Maleficent only turned bad when her wings got cut off and she was left alone to starve and slaughtered. And then she grew bitter. And then she let her feelings take over. So that was like her falling from Bina into Netzach. And I can guarantee you Maleficent didn't have a snake brain like you guys have. Unless you've really done this class correctly and you cooked it out already. Maleficent's not a reptile. She's the archetype for the divine femme. Now this ties in, so Fiona said something to me in the astral plane. She's like, where is the divine masculine gonna show up on the planet? So Simon's in Netzach right now. So the divine masculine only starts at Hokmah, not below. It's not GEBURAH. GEBURAH is ruled by Bina. So the divine masculine sits at Hokmah. And that's where, like, so the our goal are the women that ascend the tree, that the children, the male children, ascend into Hokmah and start running the actual divine masculine. And it's going to look completely new to anything that anybody has ever seen on this planet for infinity. Because they're not even allowed to run like human masculine energy. It's going to be divine masculine. So maybe Simon will get his A&R marks to pass the Seraphim and then ascend up and get through Bina. So the men have to pass Maleficent. They have to get past Maleficent, the guardian and gatekeeper of the entire planetary Nexa. Oh wait, intergalactic Nexa. That's Kali. They have to get past Kali. So the children, who are the male children, who are descendants, genetic and taught from the higher level initiates or the higher level ascendios, like those, they'll be the first to model the new divine masculine template on the planet, and it will look very different than anything we can comprehend. Maybe it will look like Jake Sully in real life. Maybe not. We'll see. Maybe it will look like Gandalf. Maybe it will look like Lord Aragorn or Harry Potter. We don't know yet. Yeah, I'm really condescending about this because like just to give you a frame of reference, Kelly, who's across the abyss, and who's Maud. Okay, she's a Hyote. She has her Hyote initiations. Her sons are just starting to like get their mutations in Netstock. That's how it. So it's a slow. The kids are slow. The boys. So we'll see. And they're heavier. Let's begin. We're going to get the element of lava to purify everything. This is obviously why Disney has alchemized their princess movies into non-boy addiction movies. So Frozen and Brave and Brave's a Pixar. All right, so then we have Triss and Katniss. And then we have Rey. And there's a reason. So Babaji for spirit, and Babaji and Jesus for spirit guides will model a very good human divine masculine. They're still just getting their GEBURAH stuff going. We have our lava lotus going into our central column. And then it emanates all the way up and emanates all the way down. And then it goes, it's almost like it explodes the new levels of energy to begin to purify everything. And then it anchors in the new other 4 tower points. It has little tentacles to connect to those other 4 access points, those columns or posts. So I'm feeling the element come in very nice and strong. And today was one of the first days where I felt like I wasn't getting stabbed. A little bit here and there, but we did a very good purification. And the air looks clean in East London instead of filth. There's a certain level of sanity starting to show up. Okay, so we're gonna make sure we get the 5 layers going into the home yoke. And then we do the city yoke. So you guys are asking, who is Archangel Zophiel? That's Hathor, as far as humans go. Human masters. And I'm listening to people's questions about, they think they're allowed to masturbate to Hathor because she's the goddess of sexual creativity and fertility. Rapey. Like you guys need to really, like, that, those are all sex crimes, and that's part of the reason, like, you don't get past GEBURAH until you've cleaned all of that out. Hathor, like, you guys are filthy. Filthy. Masters aren't lusty like that. They have too much responsibility, and they care about making sure a kid doesn't get shot or stabbed. Okay. like Hathor's main concern is making sure FGM is off the planet, not making sure that you guys can get off. So all that stuff is the Slytherin. That's all the Netzach energy. And definitely ain't T for it. Hathor's like Master T for it. Okay. Slytherin, sluts. That kind of thing. Find your mate and your partner and jerk off on them. Like that. Just... All right. Now, the city yoke. Does everybody see why GEBURAH's specialty is weeding out sex crimes? Like, I just got knife raped for 9 months, and people are thinking, like, and asking me. Okay, so like, there are like serious sicknesses in people. All right, city yoke. Get the lava to the 4 tower, the lava lotus to the 4 tower points. I can just see the Tara rolling her eyes right now. Like Elaine. And Kelly's like, I'm gonna shoot somebody. Stacey. So like when the women of this class that are like actually in this class are watching this, they know inherently I'm not speaking to them. It's the voyeur's mind. It's to wander. All right. All right, so now we're starting to feel the city yoke come in. Somebody's starting to do the dots. Like, it's a little irreverent to masturbate or like to get off on a master or some kind of Egyptian princess or whatever. If you're not like actually in an intimate relationship with them. Where it's like a real thing. Like I'll never endorse the Egyptian sex magic temples of the modern mystery school ever. It's all completely. If you guys knew Hathor, like really knew her and her personality, she's like this giant child nerd with like the innocence of Krishna, and you're like, I'm gonna masturbate to that like a child. Okay. Yay. And then everybody's like super resentful right now. Not the real masters. Um, the people that I'm actually educating that there are these things called respecting others' boundaries. In the energetic field. If you have an addiction to lusting after a master that you're not in a real soulmate relationship with, then you're going to end up a confessed person. I can guarantee it. There's this thing called chastity that is in Yesod, and you have to pass that to continue to ascend the tree of life. And then you have to pass reverence and then respect. All right. There we go. That's a better lava. We didn't get that we had to be chased. Seriously? Look at Jesus. I'm going to hook up with Mary Magdalene and that's it. That's like in Egyptian marriages, like you have one partner and that lasts for infinity. And everything else is cheating. So it's like Mormons. Like how Mormons are supposed to be, not like the pedophilia, multiple wives kind of marriages. Not that. But like you get married up at the sacred temple, and that's the marriage for infinity kind of belief or system. Because your guys' souls are bound to each other forever. All right. Yay. Um, that City Oak lava is coming through nice. There are levels of chastity. You try your best. You don't look at Hathor like if you look at Hathor like a sex object, then like Netzach is closed. To me, she's a goddess of fashion and sensuality. Like masters not masters lust. She conquers over it. Um, she masters like the inner child and the strength. Power. She's a little bit of a scaredy cat. She'll never tell you. So like I'll come in and I'll do the really psycho hard work like Buffy, and then I make her feel safe, and then she does the really strong work on top of that. All right. So that city yolk is starting to fill up, and you can start to feel it going through the top. Okay, we're doing better now. The lava coming through the city yolk. But it's connected to those 4 points, so it's the master yolk. And then we're gonna go through the Hufflepuff yolk. So like make sure that the lava lotus goes onto every single one of them. And you might see the spider grow into the central column or not because it's lava. I don't really see the spiders in this one. I'm starting to feel much safer and much more calm. So I'm in a really awkward position in my life because I just spent all this time under fire for like 9 months. And now I'm just starting to, like, how do I redefine my entire reality? So it's almost, you may see some teenagey passive aggressiveness coming from me, and that will shift through the next few months. That's just what happens when somebody gets stabbed in the vagina for 9 months, every 5 minutes of every day. I used to value. So let's keep on filling up the main yolk, the big yolk. That's the Hufflepuff yolk. I used to value the concept of producing something that's real, and like I wanted where I could be real in front of you guys and not be hiding behind a facade or pretense. And now I want, and I don't want to say a pretense or a facade, but I want something where I'm good. And I don't mean morally good. I mean like more elegant or more masterful or more light. And I'm looking at this picture of ballerina. It looks like Misty, but it's not. It's not Misty. And I want that now. So you may see me transform into that over the coming years. We'll see. But before it was so important that I was honest and that I was deep and heartfelt and true. And like true to my heart and true to my words and my own sense of earthly logic, or some like mathematical logic or karmic logic. And that might be because after enough dark, you want to bring forward something more, something other than that. Okay, we're doing pretty well on the main yolk with lava. And then we're going to do the world shell towers. Put the 3 more lotuses and then the extra lotuses on those extra 4 points. So that's 12 more lotuses. Now we'll start to vibe. It will start to radiate the element of lava, or this. It's a sonar, or I'm not getting the scientific word for it, but It's an emanation of the lava energy, and it's starting to purify everything. I will choose to have the better word or more appropriate word in the future. You'll feel that going through the bottom of each tower into the earth, and you'll start to feel the fire through your feet very nicely. You might have already felt it before because of all the inlays, the Russian folding yolks. And I'm starting to feel the psychic recognitions of we have no real love on this planet. That's why everything looks like shit, and the ocean is filled with plastic, and people like me get starved to death on a beach. So, like, there is no actual love. Otherwise, the whales would be free. And they wouldn't talk about freeing them in 40 years. And that's the human norm, okay? That's not actual love. Like, actual love is we're going to free them now. Bureaucratic red tape is corrupt and completely against all divine will, and it's against the ascension. So instead of buying into those paradigms, we're buying into humanity justice. Now it's starting to feel very clean. I want to say that the lava is the most important one because it's the purification. The fire plasma really did good too, but the lava's the the golden ticket. And then the crystal yolk temples do really well. Yes, we're going to do a crystal yolk temple for this because we have to. Okay. So next, let's do another 30 seconds to let that lava. Oh, because we still didn't even do the lotus egg yet. Okay, we're gonna wrap the planet with the lotus egg. Somebody's asking if we're going to do the no means no orange jelly goo on the outside. And we can, but we're going to paint in the Griffin blue also, so it's a swirl with the two of them. It looks icky, but nice too. They swirl nicely together. Now Griffin blue kind of calms down the lava. And then we're gonna have a dragon light it up. We're gonna have Lava Bender light it up. Lava Bender's one of Charlie's favorites. If you want to do Lava Bender's papers, you need to submit me with a request. So you let me know. Because Lava Bender's not on my top 20. So like Lava Bender should be in my top 20, but like he'll be in the next group. So if you're gonna, somebody's asking if they can do his papers. You have to let me know ahead of time. I am going to be doing the A&R cleaning on him, but if you're going to do his papers, you can do the other, like the dragon bathing on him also, but he'll be in my next group. Some of these dragons I need to have in group 2 or 3 in the bathing circle. Because they have to do service work and they need to be cleaned. Okay. Next, we're going to do the element of metal. But we're going to have that nice round, the amoeba lotus for metal. We're going to put it into our tower. And it's going to start to create metal spheres. To remind you that metal can be very soft and not pointy. And it's going to begin to reinforce all the brick in the tower and coat the brick in the tower. All 5 layers. Going all the way down. So we're going to make sure that we have like a special type of metal that doesn't, it's going to be more like a palladium or softer space metal. That's not knife rapery. So we used to do like mithril, like a magic metal. So this is another type of magic metal, but it's gonna be, we're gonna figure out a name for it and we'll call it something. Right now we're gonna call it the space metal. But it will be, because we're alchemists, it will be soaked in the cobra acid, it will be soaked in griffin blue, charms. So it will be prepped for non-knife rapery energy. More healing love. So I just feel all the energy around my vagina right now, and it's starting to, it's almost like a shark starting to claw in. It's, and we're gonna make sure that the other 4 tower points are lit up with the metal, the space metal lotus. We can call it our A&R metal, but we should come up with a better name for it. We really need to establish a new relationship towards metal. I think it's an element that we've very much abused on the planet as well. Through warfare and weaponry, instead of creating, and then for tools to hurt animals, and just we've really abused. Guns and bullets and chains, handcuffs. Instead of golden veins throughout rocks. So we could look at GEBURAH is about redefining the abuse power structure. So start looking like, how do I stop abusing metals so much? See if you can develop a better relationship with it. One step at a time, one thing at a time. All right. We're going to let that liquid metal be poured into our home temple, deeper and deeper. If I'm too slow for you, forgive me. And make sure all those towers are filled. Now, when I first started getting my energy activations, Metal Bender, one of my dragons, would skewer me and put a million pins throughout my body. He was doing it in a compassionate, non-violent way. So it didn't feel like actual attack. Okay? It wasn't like stabbing me. Or it wasn't a sex crime. It was a conduit activation. So that the dragons could start moving masses and masses of energy through my body. And this is when we were building the Khaleesi temple. So I was getting the new genetic structures to come through. So that was even if it seemed violent, it was actually kind of an appropriate use of metal. That's like how the Protego Totalum spell comes through with the metal mesh. It doesn't feel violent. Even though it looks like chicken wire. And then we put, so I'm making sure that the metal mesh actually is coming through much better in the yolk than the full-on liquid layers and layers of yolk. The metallic activation. And then it begins to anchor the structure for us to pour in the actual metal much deeper. This might make you feel very heavy, very solid, very grounded. It was one of the reasons why when Metal Bender was puncturing me and having it go through my body, I was not deterred. It got kind of annoying after like a couple days, but it faded. It only lasted for about 3 to 4 days. And I was high as a kite. Okay, we're starting to feel good. We're gonna get those, the city oak with the four towers with the new metal, space metal lotuses. And yeah, we're doing an hour for metal and lava. The next one's wood, and everything changes after wood. Just remember that. I'm gonna create the mesh around the city oak, around those four towers. And Mother Andromeda is coming through, saying the only people that actually get to ascend are the real students in this class and some of the children. Everyone else is just considered a Hufflepuffer. So. All right, so that metal mesh got through, and now we're pouring in the metal. So that takes down a lot of the energetic chatter I hear from other people all day long. Makes everyone's opinions go away. And through the bottom of the clippeth. And that is awesome. That red umbrella people. All right. Misty Copeland's our only X Factor. Because you got to cross the abyss. At least in her spiritual bodies. Okay. We've been working on that since the Khaleesi temple, though. You need to understand. You guys need to understand some things. All right. Now we have the master yolk, or the main yolk, or Hufflepuff oak yolk. Now let's throw the metal, the space metal lotus in the central column, and then the other 3 columns, and then all those other little columns around. So another 16 towers. And then you can see the metal mesh around the big Hufflepuff going up and down. That's the non-knife right metal. And then we pour in the metal sludge into that Hufflepuff yolk. That starts to feel pretty good. Now it's getting to the bottom of the egg. Okay, get your lotus, or the bottom of the yolk. Get your space lotus, space metal lotus. 3 more of them. Oh, double check the placenta. And we see that the lava got filled into the placenta. We're going to put a petal in the placenta for the metal. Maybe we put 5 petals in the placenta for the metal. And then it's going to start to make a weird metallic pattern of flowers and like Art Nouveau, and it starts to look frilly and beautiful. Paper cutouts, but metal. Flowers and spirals and leaves. And then we dump another layer of the metal, space metal sludge, just to smooth it out so there are no sharp edges. But you can maybe see the design still. Okay. So now we have our space metal towers. And then 12 more lotuses. And then we start to do the metal mesh grid around each of those towers. Some of you guys want to do just the towers, like a baby yolk. And then around the whole planet. And then on the innards of the planet. all the way to the core of the earth. And then we may dump the metal. The metal sludge throughout the planet. We're almost wrapping up with this element. The personal dragon egg, we did that. The lava also. So it's the same thing. You gotta just get a lesson in the law before we get the lava going. All right, so before we end this video, no. Okay. Excuse me. Before we end this video, we need to do the lotus around the planet. And this is where we're gonna get the metal scales for the lotus egg around the planet. And then we're gonna paint it in the Griffin blue paste. And as far as dealing with metal, and non-knife rape energy. Metal Bender is actually really good. He still needs to be cleaned out, and I'm going to do his papers. He's going to be part of the next group, so don't expect his papers to be done in like the next 50 weeks. But he's part of the next 8. The next 8 will be Metal Bender, Ash and Charcoal, Brick and Root, Elizabeth and Moira, and I think Gracie. Or Luma. I don't know. We might be doing Luma at this like at the same time in this first group. So we're trying to get some of the Dark Dragons done faster. I can pair them off. I'll do 2 a day. So I'll do 8 a week for about 30 to 50 weeks. So you'll feel Metal Bender lighting up the Griffin Blue paint. And if he lasagnas it with the Griffin honeycomb, with the lava, it's to clear up some of this stuff. Some of the spikies, thorns, shrapnel. But a lot of it feels like space trash. If you ever watch the movie Gravity, it's metallic space trash. A lot. Needs to be dealt with. Now, with this giant metal grid, you should start to feel from a Clippeth level existence the massive distance between you and other people. Not me with you guys with muggles. So, or people who aren't really in this DNA upgrade. So, it's life. All right, Collie Wren out.